I called 999, so they came.
And you told them just how sick your mummy was?
And before when we were out, she was just busy, and now she feels really poorly.
She's feeling poorly. Let's have a look. How old are you, Susie?
4.
We're just incredibly grateful. You know, we know she's bright, but we were so surprised listening to the call. Everyone says she sounds calm. To us, she sounds really nervous because she was quiet, one-word answers, but she gave them all the information they needed to help me.
She was absolutely fantastic. From start to finish, just precise information. I'm not sure how she knew all the information she did. I think she even came up with the words anaphylactic, which I don't know how 4-year-olds know that.
I can hear an ambulance.
You can hear an ambulance, can you? I can hear them in the bathroom. You can see them. Well done, Susie. Right, the police are going to help Mummy, okay?
Just like to say, Susie, that I was blown away by how very good you were when I got to your house and you came and said to me, this is what's wrong with my mummy, and my mummy's had her medicine and it hasn't worked, because that helped me very, very much. And that helped me give your mummy some treatment, because I knew what was wrong with your mummy. And if it wasn't for you, it might have taken a lot longer. So I just want to say thank you very much and well done. Can I shake your hand? Yeah.
Today I would like to talk more about misopedia. Misopedia means the hatred of children, and it's something I've talked about a lot in my videos, but I want to talk about it a bit more today. I find myself in a state of disbelief, and I can't believe what's going on. How is this possible? How are these dog attacks allowed to happen over and over and over again? I know that daily, unprovoked dog attacks on children are happening, and people continue to allow it to happen. It's like they don't care. No one seems to care. No one's doing anything. Nothing is getting done. And this is just allowed to happen over and over and over again. Actually, something is getting done. What's happening is pit bull bans that have been in place for many years are being repealed. They're being reversed. They're being lifted. That's what's happening in the interests of child safety. Nobody seems to care about children at all. I know some of you received the same email I received from the government of Ontario when I made a video a while back asking you all to write to the government of Ontario here in Canada, asking them to keep their pit bull ban. We received an email from them stating that pit bull bans have been shown to be ineffective, that they do not work at reducing the number of dog bites. Nobody cares about the number of dog bites. We care about the severity of dog attacks. This is as stupid as comparing sharks to goldfish. Oh, there are sharks in the water? That's fine, because goldfish bite too. You know, you can't compare the attack of a bully breed to the attack of a smaller, safer breed. Why do we want to allow animals that are capable of killing us in our communities? It's unnecessary. It's like these people cannot imagine life without dogs. They think dogs have as much of a right to live in our society as human beings do, which is absolutely crazy. You know, they'll say things like, well, humans kill too. What are you going to do, ban all humans? Well, of course not. And I made a video about that. You can't ban humans because you need humans. We all need humans to survive, because we are a social species. We need each other. We need people to grow our food, to provide medical care, to do all the jobs that humans do to keep society functioning. But dogs don't do anything. People like to believe that they are essential for their emotional support or whatever. But service dogs make up only 0.5% of the dog population. And even then, there are alternatives to service dogs. So we don't need them. We don't need them. A dog is never going to fix your electrical system. A dog is never going to operate on you or fix your computer or do anything, offer you employment. You know, dogs are unnecessary. We need dogs in our communities as much as we need tigers or lions or wolverines or any other predator. You know what drives me crazy is when you read these reports of dog attacks, they will say, it's unclear what caused the dog to attack. It is not unclear at all. They attack because they are dogs, and dogs are predators. And bully breeds were created by humans. They were bred to have a high prey drive. Do you know what that means? A prey drive, it's an instinct these animals have to chase, attack, and kill anything that looks like prey. And children, with their erratic movements and their high-pitched noises, look and sound like prey to these creatures. They are fanged, bloodthirsty, instinct-driven, remorseless predators. Just like wolves, just like lions, just like tigers, just like cougars. And you cannot love or train this instinct out of a dog. It's part of what the dog is. It's in its genetics. You can't change it. It doesn't matter how the dog is raised. These people spread their misinformation. They tell lies. They perpetuate their myths. And they tell you over and over again that it's all in how you raise them. It has nothing at all to do with how the dog is raised. Most of these dogs that attack were raised by so-called responsible owners. And by the way, there's nothing responsible about owning a dog, especially a bully breed. But these people loved their dogs. The dogs were loved, cherished, raised with their children. The children and the dog were best friends for many, many years. And the dog was so wonderful with the children and was so affectionate and sweet and was the best dog for 6 years or 8 years until it surprised everyone by launching an unprovoked attack that nobody can explain. Well, how did this happen? Oh my goodness. If you read reports of dog attacks on any of these anti-dog, anti-pitbull groups, forums, or whatever, or you go on to the National Pitbull Victim Awareness website and you read through the reports, you're going to find it next to impossible to find any evidence at all of any of these dogs that attacked having been mistreated or abused or trained to be vicious or anything. Usually we're talking about dogs that were raised in loving homes and they were the best, sweetest, most affectionate dogs for many, many years. You know, and until one day, their predatory instincts became triggered. And you never know when the dog is going to become triggered or what is going to trigger the dog. It's always a shock to everyone when it happens. And people have this idea that because their dog is the sweetest dog and never attacked anyone, that if someone else treats their dog right and loves their dog just like they love their dog, then their dog is never going to become vicious or attack anyone. That's ridiculous. Saying that because something never happened to you personally, it's impossible for it to happen to someone else. That's crazy. You know, your own personal experience doesn't matter. You have to look at larger numbers, look at the bigger picture. I talked about this in my video about logical fallacies. It's arguing from the specific to the general. That's the logical fallacy these people are engaging in. I don't know what is wrong with people. How can they not see dogs for what they are? They humanize dogs. You know, this is what we are bombarded with through social media and commercials everywhere we look, movies, cartoons, books, children's books from the time we are born. You know, Paw Patrol teaches our children that these animals, these predators, are human-like, that they have human emotions, and that they think the way we think, but they don't. Science shows they are incapable of experiencing love because they cannot experience guilt, shame, or remorse, and you need to experience those emotions before you can love someone. Dogs are only motivated by food. They want food, and all the behaviors people interpret as love, like the tail wagging, the excited behavior, the licking, these behaviors are only food-seeking behaviors. And so these people are absolutely delusional. And they think that these dogs belong in our society because they're no different from children. They are so different from children. They have nothing in common with children. All of this stuff that I've talked about so far in this video, I have talked about before numerous times at length on this channel, and I'm sorry for repeating myself. But getting back to the subject of misopedia, I saw this. A child was attacked by a dog inside of a Costco recently. First of all, what is a dirty dog doing inside of an establishment that sells food? When did this become acceptable? How did this become acceptable? Because when I was growing up, no one would have ever accepted this. It's disgusting to have a dog inside of a place that sells food. And it's unacceptable under any circumstance. If you have psychiatric issues or a disability or whatever that requires you to have a dog, then you have no business going into those places. Get someone else to do your grocery shopping, all right? You get takeout and go eat your food at home. Okay, we don't want your dog inside of a public place like that because it's unhygienic, it's disgusting. Anyways, hygiene aside, this dog leapt from underneath the table and attacked a child as they were walking to get some food. I've been mulling over this, asking myself, how is this possible? Not only is it mind-boggling that such a thing is even possible in our so-called civilized society, it is crazy how dogs, in spite of these daily attacks on children, dogs continue to be shoved down our throats constantly. Everywhere you look, movies, TV, books, you name it, right? Social media, everywhere you look, there's this message that we should get a dog, especially bully breeds. They're all the rage now. It's like those are the only kinds of dogs you can find in shelters, I hear. I haven't gone and visited any animal shelters lately, but I hear they are overflowing with pit bull type dogs. And if you go to one of these animal shelters, that's the only type of dog you're going to find nowadays. Why? Why are they being thrust upon the public like this? Why are people being guilted into purchasing these mutants? These child maulers, why? What is up with people? As a mother, I have a motherly instinct to keep my children safe, as well as all children. I would like all children to be safe. Is that too much to ask in our so-called civilized society? What is wrong with people that they don't care about children? You know, I don't understand that at all. Instead of supporting me in my natural desire to keep my kids safe, they're introducing these pit bull type child maulers into libraries. They're bringing them into schools. They're bringing them everywhere. You can't go grocery shopping anymore without fearing for your child's life because people are bringing these predators into all kinds of public buildings, hospitals. They're everywhere now. And it enrages me. It makes me sick because instead of supporting me in my natural desire to keep my children safe, society does the opposite. It attacks me. It makes me into a cold-hearted, soulless, awful monster for wanting our communities to be free of these unpredictable, bloodthirsty, fanged predators. It's crazy. Crazy, but I'm going to tell you what the crux of the problem is. It is this anti-child sentiment that we see everywhere. Someone sent me an email recently with these screenshots and wrote the following. This sickens me. Imagine if this was a dog, then replace these sick comments with dog instead of kid. People would be in an uproar. Because, oh my God, we must save the worthless puppies or dogs. And you're sick if you think dogs aren't worth saving. But because it's a human child, saying things like, kids die all the time, who cares, is acceptable nowadays. This was shared on the Facebook group called Regrettably, the Child-Free Are At It Again, where people despair over anti-child sickos which seem to be rife recently. It does seem to tie in with the pro-dog or pro-animal and anti-human culture we now have. This in itself needs a crusade. Absolutely it ties in, and absolutely it needs a crusade. We need to speak out about this. This is the crux of the problem, like I said. It's because people are getting away with spewing this disgusting anti-child sentiment. Why are these groups even allowed to exist? I'm referring to these child-free groups, right? They ought to be treated the same way we treat anti-women groups or anti-Black groups or anti-Asian groups or anti-First Nations groups or anti-homosexual groups. It's the same thing. Misopedia is just as disgusting and unacceptable as misogyny or homophobia. And that's what we need to get through to people, because we tolerate such child-free groups. We allow them to exist on the internet. We shouldn't. We should shut them down. People who say these disgusting things about children need to be shamed, like I said. I thought about blacking out the names I see in these screenshots, but then I decided no, I'm not going to do that, because these people need to be shamed. They need to be shamed into oblivion. So if you know these people, shame them. Next time you see someone writing about how much they hate children, call them out on it. Shame them. It's because as a society we tolerate this hatred towards children that people are getting away with comparing children to dogs. It is ridiculous. It's disgusting. Despite the evidence that when dogs attack children, the attacks are almost always completely unprovoked. Dog worshippers insist the child must have provoked the dog in some way. Whenever you read a report of a dog attack, you will always see in the comments someone saying that the child must have provoked the dog. What did the child do to provoke the dog? Suggesting it's the child's fault or the child had it coming in some way. This is the epitome of misopedia. This is something that makes my blood boil. These people are not only delusional, they are telling lies and making children out to be these bratty, nasty kids that are constantly going around provoking dogs, when most dog attacks occur when the child is sleeping in their crib or sitting in their bouncy chair or playing in their yard or walking to school or getting off the school bus or riding their bike or otherwise paying no attention to the dog at all. So next time you see someone blaming a child for being attacked by a dog, point this out to them. They have no evidence to back up their claims. They are not the ones reading through reports of dog attacks to get the facts. Instead, they are relying on these myths that are being perpetuated on social media and other places that dogs are harmless, pure, innocent, loyal, blah, blah, blah. They are not. They are bloodthirsty predators without remorse. And, you know, we should not tolerate this anti-child sentiment or this victim blaming. Misopedia sickens me to my core, and this antinatalist, child-free trend, like this person said, it's just so rife. I've never visited any of these child-free forums, but I've heard of them. And just hearing about them makes me feel physically sick. This person who wrote to me wrote that they highly recommend I join the group if I want to find more examples of anti-child sentiment, or even join the actual child-free groups as an undercover profile. I will find plenty of material to work with. It's truly unbelievable the attitude people have towards children now. I can't bring myself to visit those groups. I don't want to read the comments. I don't want to see it. Just hearing about it makes me sick, physically sick. I told myself I wasn't going to share any personal information with you, but I'll tell you that I have been to the doctor and I had some tests done because my heartbeat was irregular and I'm sleeping very poorly. And I'm feeling a crushing pressure on my chest, and I feel like I can't breathe. And I really thought I had something wrong with my heart. Turns out my heart is fine, and all these symptoms are anxiety related. And this signals to me that I need to step back. And I have said so many times that I would take a break from this channel and that I would step back because I've been feeling anxious and depressed about this dog issue for ages now. And it's really difficult to stay focused on this. I can't do it. The fact that my physical health is now suffering tells me that I really do need to step back. Like, I don't want to have a stroke and die fighting for this. There's only so much I can do. And I'm really hoping that some of you might go into those child-free groups or whatever, or at least just speak out when you see it and shame those people, like I said. And I was sitting there in the doctor's office waiting room with this racing, irregular heartbeat, and I was telling myself, there are a lot of people who would be really, really happy if I would drop dead. And these are the same people who call me a narcissist. A narcissist, by the way, doesn't feel empathy. The reason I have all of these symptoms is because I have so much empathy, because I am so empathic, because every day I think about these victims of dog attacks. I imagine what it must be like to have these dogs tear chunks out of your flesh and eat you. I'm going to link you to this website that quotes victims of dog attacks. In their words, what they went through. Could you imagine going through that? I can. And it makes me sick when I think about this. Who cannot feel sick when they think about this? I don't know how anyone can read through this and then go, these people are whatever, and attack them while continuing to praise pit bull type dogs. What is wrong with these people? These are the same people who call me a narcissist? How crazy! These people need to be locked up. They have no empathy whatsoever. They don't care about kids. They don't care about babies. They don't care about humans. They only care about their right to own these unpredictable child maulers. It's sickening. How are they allowed to walk around free in society? Explain that to me. The graphic photos even showing what appeared to be the tiny child's head nearly decapitated, along with severe internal damage. They were not biting, they were eating me, because when they were stuck to my arms, they were pulling out my tendons and nerves and every kind of tissue on me. Just read this stuff. Read through it. Why are we tolerating this? Why is this permitted to continue over and over and over again? Why are we not stopping this? We're supposed to be civilized people, a civilized society. What insanity is this? How is this allowed to go on? And how do people read websites like this? This is dogsbite.org, by the way. They say dogsbite.org is biased. It's misleading. It can't be trusted, blah, blah, blah. Oh, really? So all of these quotes then are fabrications? Where's your evidence to back that up? These people have no evidence. They don't even know what they're talking about. They're just talking nonsense. All they want is to maintain the presence of these unpredictable child maulers in our community, using their logical fallacies to justify their position. But it makes no sense. They're irrational. And they just don't care about kids. They lack empathy. Dangerous, dangerous people. This is a horror that surpasses any horror you'll ever see in any horror movie. But it's real life. And it's happening every day. And we allow it to happen because we aren't standing up. We aren't speaking out. We allow these people to bully us into submission. We need more content creators on YouTube, people who are strong enough to block these psychopaths and not respond to them and not get dragged into this endless back and forth tit for tat craziness. These people are crazy, as I have explained in previous videos. We need people who are strong enough to rise above this and to focus on the purpose of their channel, which is to inform, to raise awareness, not to get sucked into this back and forth, whatever infantile bullcrap these people want to engage in. They're not interested in getting to the truth about me or you, right? They're going to spread lies, not only about dogs, but about us. And, we just have to ignore them completely. I'm calling on you all to do some of this work for me because, like I said, I can't do it all on my own. I'm not going to be quitting YouTube entirely, and I know they're going to be very upset about that. They would love to see me drop dead. I do have some essays I'm going to read out shortly. I will be making a few videos soon, but after that, I think I'm going to cut back to maybe 1 or 2 a month, and I'm going to focus on my art and on future art shows, and I'm going to focus on my kids and on the things that bring me joy. And I know I've said this before, but I really have to, guys. I have to take care of my health, and I need to just get my mind off this. And I appreciate the emails you send me and the ideas for videos you send my way, but I'm cracking, guys. I'm breaking under this pressure because it breaks my heart, and it's breaking my heart literally. So I call upon all of you to continue this crusade. And our children deserve better. And at the beginning of this video, I shared a video of this wonderful, amazing young girl who called 999, which is the same as 911 here in North America. And people will say, oh, but dogs save lives too. Dogs only perform tasks they were trained by humans to do. And humans used food rewards to get these dogs to do the things they wanted the dogs to do. These dogs would never perform those tasks were it not for human trainers. So, humans are clearly superior to dogs. You'll never see a dog training a human to use the telephone or anything like that. And like I Hate Dogs said in his video, we must focus on the most significant aspect of dog ownership. Sure, dogs may comfort some people, they may provide companionship or whatever, but that is not as significant as a child or any other human losing their face, all right? That's way more significant, and that is what should take precedence over any other good dogs may do in society. The bad they do far outweighs any good they do. So with that, I will leave you with another heartwarming video, and I will see you all soon.
Ambulance service, tell me exactly what's happened. Hello?
Mummy fell down the stairs.
Your mummy fell down the stairs?
And I've got a baby.
Sorry, and she's got a baby?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Emma.
Emma. How old are you, Emma?
3.
You're 3? Alright, Emma, my name's Sarah. We're going to help your mummy, okay? Mummy's breathing, is she?
Yeah.
Alright, my lovely. Bear with me a second, okay? Stay on the phone. I'm not going to hang up the phone, okay?
It's in Mummy's tummy.
The baby's in Mummy's tummy. Okay, sweetie. Alright, my darling, that's okay. Good girl, Emma. You're a superstar. Your mummy's going to be really proud of you. What's Mummy doing now?
Mummy giving her a cuddle.
You're giving Mummy a cuddle. Good girl.
Yeah.
You're lucky. Is that what Santa's going to bring you? A baby brother?
No, it's in Mummy's tummy.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to bring it in.
No, Santa's not bringing it. Mummy's going to bring it, is she?